Against the backdrop of a large-scale war launched by the Russian Federation against Ukraine, the country lives in conditions of constant military risk. Border areas face regular shelling, while cities deep inside the country remain under threat of missile and drone strikes. Everyday life continues on the streets and on public transport, but under wartime rules and constant security tension. On paper, Ukraine guarantees its citizens fundamental rights, including freedom of movement and protection from arbitrary detention. These guarantees are written into the Constitution and detailed in separate legislation, with only limited restrictions formally allowed under martial law. In reality, however, the situation often differs from the norms described in legal texts. Under wartime mobilization, men of military age face strict control over travel and the possibility of leaving the country. Territorial recruitment centers, Ukraine's network of draft offices often referred to as TCC, are responsible for registering conscripts, updating personal data, and issuing call-up notices. Police units and other security agencies assist them by checking identity documents, verifying registration, and delivering men to these offices when required. Videos recorded by bystanders across the country show how these checks move from official premises onto the streets of Ukrainian cities. At public transport stops, near shopping areas, in residential districts, and on the roads, groups of recruitment officers and police patrols stop men, demand documents, and sometimes direct them into vehicles for further processing. In some cases, traffic rules are ignored, and the use of physical force is visible on camera. International and Ukrainian human rights organizations have documented complaints about unlawful or disproportionate actions in this sphere. Reports describe detentions without clear explanation, pressure on those who try to film what is happening, and situations where people say they were not informed of their rights or the legal basis for demands made by officials. At the same time, Ukrainian authorities report internal inspections, disciplinary measures, and attempts to reform the recruitment system after public scandals around abuses. For ordinary residents, this creates a paradoxical environment. The state emphasizes the seriousness of the external threat and the need to replenish the armed forces. Citizens encounter the same state structures in everyday settings, where control over their bodies, movement, and personal choices becomes immediate and physical. Men of conscription age, in particular, live with a constant possibility of being stopped, questioned, or taken away for verification of their draft status. Documentary footage from phones and security cameras turns these encounters into a continuous visual record. It captures arguments between officers and civilians, resistance to being taken to recruitment offices, and moments when passers-by intervene or demand that procedures be followed. For many residents, such scenes have become part of the urban landscape in wartime Ukraine, showing how mobilization, law enforcement, and civil rights intersect.
Ти зайшов у двір, в чужий двір зайшов. Без дозволу, виїхав отсюда. Ти, блядь, як до себе додому відкрив калітку і зайшов у двір. Я сказав бігом. Давай вперед. По-нормальному він хотів побалакати, блядь. По-нормальному нехуй своїх односельчан, блядь, кошмарить. Оце по-нормальному, блядь. Їдь. От і їдь. Виїжджай, блядь. Дивись, щоб тобі не прийшлось виїжджати. Урод йобаний, блядь. Отак от, сука. Зайшло, блядь, нахуй, сука, нахуй. Ще в двір, блядь, без дозволу, блядь, нахуй, блядь. Ломиться, нахуй. Побалакать він хотів, нахуй, блядь. Гандон, сука, блядь. Балакать уже нехуй, блядь. Скотина, блядь.